What's up, everybody? Ah! What are you doing in my house?
The Steelers beat the Ravens! The Steelers beat the Ravens!
Steelers beat the Ravens? Steelers beat the Ravens? Steelers beat the Ravens! Steelers beat the Ravens! Sorry about that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Steelburgh. As you can tell from the intro, Steelers win 18-16 against the Ratbird Ravens. Oh my Lord, that feels good to say. Steelers first place in the AFC North, solidly at 8-2. The lowly Ravens sitting at 7-4. Oh man, this game was AFC North football at its finest. No Steelers touchdowns, 6 field goals off the legs of Chris Boswell, but the Steelers get the win. Oh, what is there to say about this game? I mean, defensive effort all around, offensive stats, pitiful, really for both sides. Defense reigned supreme in this one. Before I go into stats, I just got to talk about this game a little bit just off the top of my head. Wow. I mean, like I said, AFC North football. And the whole thing about Lamar not being able to play against the Steelers rang true today. He could not do anything against the Steelers. He had a couple good throws, but he was missing high. He was missing low. His receivers couldn't catch. He was doing everything he could. He was scrambling, and he just could not beat the Steelers. And it all started from that Derrick Henry fumble on the second play of the game. I mean, that's just such a momentum killer. Like, that's like the football gods telling you that your destiny is to lose to the Steelers. And then I whisper into the TV and I say, yes, lose to us. But the Steelers get it done. They get the win despite not getting into the end zone at all. Let's look at the stats a little bit here. Russell Wilson, 23 for 36, 205 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns, as I said. That's going to be a recurring theme this game. No touchdowns in the Steelers side of the ball. Interception is, I think, the first bad interception he's thrown this year. Granted, he's only played 3 games, but that throw into the end zone was just a bad decision by Russell Wilson there. You got to throw the ball away. You got to take those 3 points, and you got to live to fight another day. You can't be throwing it up there. Yes, Darnell Washington needs to get out of his cement shoes and go up for the ball, at least tip it so it goes incomplete. But you shouldn't have to rely on your receiver to force an incompletion. You should just not throw the ball there if you can't throw the ball there. I don't hate the call giving it to Darnell Washington, but when you airmail it 3 feet over his head, you can't really blame him on that, right? Like, it's really hard to overthrow a 6'8" tight end. That man is 9 inches taller than I am, and you put it 3 feet over his head. That's insane. That's almost as tall as the ceilings in this apartment. Like, you just cannot throw that over his head in that situation there. Worst comes to worst, put it at his feet and let him muscle it into his chest. Like, you just cannot throw the pick there. We got it back. Peyton Wilson ended up making it worth it, but a little bit of a rough go there. And the offensive woes would kind of just continue the rest of the game. Najee Harris had a sneaky, mediocre game. 18 for 63 at 3.5 yards a carry. No touchdowns. I just need to stop saying that because no one scored a touchdown in this game. Jaylen Warren, though, sneaky good game. 9 rushes for 41 yards. 4.6 a carry. Get this man the ball more. Receiving-wise, Pickens led the team with 8 receptions on 10 targets. This man is winning fantasy leagues. I mean, 8 catches for 89 yards. He didn't score a touchdown. He put up 16 points. That is impressive. Darnell Washington, 2 for 42. Najee Harris, 4 for 30. Jaylen Warren, 4 for 27. Like, Jaylen Warren put up 68 yards in total offense on 4 catches, 4 rushes. 9 rushes, 4 catches. Harris had another 30 on the ground. Not bad. Not too shabby. The big thing that I want to point out here is a big goose egg on the board for Mike Williams. Not even a target in this one. He was just, I don't know if he was written out or if he wasn't ready or what, but we got to give him the ball more. It's really inexcusable to not do that. Before I go into the Steelers defense, since the defense kind of won the day, we're going to go the Ravens offense first because I think that both defenses deserve to be said last, best for last, right? Lamar Jackson went 16 for 33 for 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That interception was bonkers. I mean, I was seeing stats from the game, and I was like, when did Lamar Jackson get an interception? Because it kind of looked like a fumble, the way that Peyton Wilson ripped it out. I mean, that was nuts, right? The guy reached forward, and, maybe I'll put a picture of it. If I do, it'll be right there. He reached out, he caught the ball, and then Wilson stuck his one arm in there and, ripped the ball out of his hand. That's like what you do in elementary school ball when someone catches it and you try to wrestle it from them after they're on the ground and pretend that you caught it when really they had. No, in the time from where Justice Hill had caught the ball and was falling to before he hit the ground, Peyton Wilson managed to get his arm in there, take the ball out, and then possess it for himself. We might have got ourselves a 3rd round dog in Peyton Wilson. I mean, beautiful play. I mean, that might be one of the craziest interceptions I've ever seen live because, Troy Polamalu's interception against the Chargers is still ahead of that. As you know, I'm a Troy Polamalu lover. Pause. But yeah, anyway, that was just the craziest interception I think I've ever seen live. And that summed up the day for the Ravens. I mean, everything that went wrong for them could have. Everything that could have went wrong for them did. Rushing wise, Derrick Henry, 13 for 65. Real quick, I just want to look up Derrick Henry's rushing yards from past games and see how they compare to this game. And wow, yeah. So 46 yards against the Chiefs, but 84 against the Raiders, 151 Cowboys, 199 against the Bills. Wow. 92 against the Bengals, 132 against the Commanders, 169 against the Buccaneers, 73 against the Browns, 106 against the Broncos, 68 against the Bengals, and 65 against us. Holy crap. So we held Derrick Henry to the 2nd least amount of yards of any game this season outside of week 1. We shut him down. And our defense was phenomenal today. Lamar Jackson ran 4 times for 46 yards. He was pretty effective on the ground, but a lot of it skewed. He had one really long run. He had one run that was stopped in the line of scrimmage. So 3 pretty good runs, 1 pretty bad run. I still think we did a good job at controlling him. Justice Hill, only 2 for 13 yards. Receiving wise for the Ravens, Isaiah Likely led them in yardage and receptions, 4 for 75. Crazy stat. Lamar Jackson only had 4 completions by receivers all game. Maybe 5. I don't know if Tylan Wallace is a receiver or not. But Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, 2 catches for each of them. And they came on the final drive. I think the announcer said, Bateman's catch in one of their final drives going downfield was, the first in the game or maybe the second all game. They were all about the tight ends, and Likely 4 for 75 is a good reason why. Justice Hill 4 for 28. Didn't throw to Henry at all. 2 with DeMarc Andrews. So out of the receptions, out of the 16 he completed, that's 4, 6, 8, 9 of them were not to receivers, which is pretty wild. That's pretty crazy. And we move on to the stars of the game. We had the Pittsburgh Steelers defense holding the #1 scoring offense in football to only 16 points. Without them, we lose this game by a hell of a lot more. We won this game. We lose this game, period, without them. I'm wearing the closest thing I have to a JPJ jersey with just regular Joey Porter. He was at the game, Joey Porter, but this is more in response to Joey Porter Jr. stopping Lamar Jackson on the 2-point conversion. Crucial play there that obviously helped us get the win big time. We had 2 sacks in the day on Jackson. TJ Watt gets back on the stat sheet. Now, I didn't see his sack because they didn't put him on the ground, but he did push Lamar out of bounds before he threw the ball away, and they counted that as a sack on his sheet. And then Dean Lowry had one just plain old sack. He got him, Dean Lowry. And then the one interception obviously being Peyton Wilson, which is insanity. But I kind of lied to you here. This isn't just a defensive statement here. This is also about special teams. And my Pittsburgh Steelers MVP was Chris Boswell. 6 for 6 on field goals. Longest from 57 at Heinz Field, which is just bonkers, by the way. I remember for a long time, the longest at Heinz Field was 54 yards. Bonkers that it's 57. Bonkers that he can just hit 57 just right down the middle cleanly. Crushed it. MVP, I mean, love that man. He's a god. What would we do though without our Lord and Savior, Chris Boswell? Things were not as lucky for the Ravens, however. Justin Tucker. Oh, what happened to you, man? 1 for 3. Long of 54. That'd be the only one he made. Missed 1 from 50. Missed 1 from 47. I know it's hard to kick from Heinz Field. It's not easy with the wind blowing. And the turf or the field might not have been great because they played yesterday at that field. Boswell didn't seem to have any problems, but according to Tucker, things weren't ideal. But man, you were the most consistent kicker in all of football. And now you're down to a 75% this season? Like one of the worst in the league? Like, holy crap. I used to be quaking in my boots whenever the Ravens would get down inside the 40-yard line because I knew he was going to drill a kick. Now, it's like, can he even hit a 40-yarder? He misses so much. I mean, if the Ravens don't win this division, if the Steelers hold on to this division, if the Ravens don't make it past the first round of the playoffs, he's someone to look at as why. I mean, it's not Lamar's fault. Lamar's had an MVP season outside of this game. It's not Henry's fault. Henry could be getting some MVP votes. It's not, I mean, you could blame the secondary, but the secondary looked better in this game. They lost the game because Justin Tucker couldn't hit a field goal. At the end of the day, that's what happened. And, I'm not going to complain as a Steelers fan because now, I mean, it's between Boswell and Aubrey as being the 2 best kickers in the league. I think Boswell could get some MVP votes. He won't because it's a kicker, but I think he should because he single-handedly won us 2 games this season. However, Justin Tucker, woof. Take your spot in the retirement home, buddy. See you later. On to the Ravens defense. A couple sacks on us today. Odafe Owe had 2.5 sacks. Stevens had another half a sack. Broderick Washington got 1 as well, bringing the total to 4. And then Marlon Humphrey got the 1 interception in the end zone. Our line was really, really rough during this game. Wilson was running for his life. Russell Wilson's going to die, right? Playing against a team like the Eagles or the Chiefs that have really, really good defensive lines, Russell Wilson's going to die. And I worry for him. The one thing I want to touch on before I wrap this up is our red zone offense. Now, I got a little bit of hate on one of my shorts for saying that our offense looked bad in the red zone, that we were playing bad offensively because we only put up 18 points in the game. And I was hearing a lot of people say, oh, we won, like, oh, we did enough. It was a good Ravens team. And yeah, okay, the Ravens defense played better in this game than they had during the season, right? Their secondary played better. Their D-line obviously played really good against our O-line. But overall, they're not a good defensive team. Like, their secondary is quite weak, and we just couldn't take advantage of it. And particularly in the red zone is where I had problems. I like that we started playing Justin Fields toward the end of the game, right? I like that we were using him in those what are we going to do, run or pass situations. Use them around the end zone. Like, Justin Fields is a mobile threat quarterback, sure, but he can also throw. And shout out to Mega Casuals, YouTuber I was watching on the game last night. He made a really, really great point about this. Russell Wilson, what he has over Justin Fields in terms of prowess is the deep ball, the moon ball, so to speak. He sails it way better on the deep throws than Justin Fields does. But Fields still has really good short accuracy. We saw that a lot on the bootleg, on the play actions. And we saw that a lot in the short coverage. He has zip on the ball, and he can get it there accurately. So use him in the red zone. Use his wheels. Like, on that one play where Russell Wilson threw the interception, if that's Justin Fields, I wouldn't be surprised if he tucks that and tries to run for the pylon. Plus, Justin Fields is an over 200-pound quarterback. Lower his shoulder. He's your backup quarterback, so you're not worried as much of Russ as him getting an injury. But let him run with the ball. Let him try and extend the play with his legs and get into the end zone there. I just don't understand not opening that up. Credit where credit is due. The Ravens played well in the secondary against the Steelers. But we had, I think, 6 plays. I think it was 2 drives where we got inside the 10. And we kicked field goals on both of them. Like, that's just unacceptable. We have to be converting on those. This game, I'd like to think against any other team but the Ravens, this game could be 25-16 or 30-16 if we just put that ball in the end zone. But I don't know, because our red zone offense has been bad all season, and one concern people had about Russell Wilson going into the year was that he struggles in the red zone, and he did against the Broncos. So I have no idea if that's going to be something that continues, but use your weapons. Use the tall Mike Williams. Use George Pickens on the one-on-ones. You went through him one-on-one, and it was almost caught. Use Justin Fields, who can use his legs to either throw it up to George Pickens if need be, or just run it in himself. Like, we have so many options that are just not being taken advantage of. That's all I got for you on this one, folks. Steelers plan a short week on Thursday. Depending on timing, I might get the video out a little earlier. Next week, maybe I'll post it on like Friday or Saturday. If not, it'll just come normal as Tuesday. But maybe I'll do something, a bonus content, since the Steelers do play on Thursday. I don't know. I don't really remember what I did on the Giants game. I think I just waited. But big game on Thursday. Hope it's not a trap game. Steelers can really solidify it with a win on Thursday and maybe a Ravens loss on Sunday against the Chargers. It's going to be a good game, one to watch. Steelers could solidify first place in the AFC North by 2.5 games if the Ravens were to lose and we were to win. So it's not a trap game. Steelers are prone to those, but go Steelers. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, everybody. Goodbye again from the Steelburgh.